started. Yes, so welcome, namaste everyone, for today's webinar on the Lalitha Sahasranama, its essence and meaning. So in this webinar, we're going to go on an enlightening journey into one of the most sacred texts of Hinduism, the Lalitha Sahasranama. It's going to be guided by our Acharya Mrityunjay Mani Trivediji. Thank you for joining us. And this stotra from the Brahmanda Purana contains 1,000 names of Devi Lalita Tripura Sundari, an embodiment of the Divine Mother Shakti. So in this webinar, we're going to introduce you to the significance, power, and depth of maybe not all the 1,008 names, but many of them expressed in the 182 verses of the stotra. So we're going to get into how do we integrate these sorts of important um, stotra into our daily lives, and specifically the chanting of the Lalita Sahasranama in a way that'll actually help us. So we're going to get into also the course on the same title and subject taught by our very wonderful Acharya Ji. And in that course, you'll get a layout of how we're going to explore the deeper meanings behind the 1,000 names, experience the transformative essence of each one, and the deepening connection that you get out of that with the Devi. So this is a unique opportunity to engage in devotional chanting with meaning, reverence, and understanding. Thank you all for that, joining us for today's webinar on the Lalita Sahasranama. So that's a little background on it. We have quite a few people joining us. Arun Kulkarni from Atlanta, thank you for joining. Hari Iyer from Santa Maria. We got this little poll going. Let me just share. So you can see, is this your first HUA webinar? 21st timers, awesome. 26 attended before. And people who have taken a course at HUA, 14 have taken a course, 5 are in programs. We have 10 people who are not interested in courses. Well, thank you for joining us on the webinar and enjoy this. But the 21 people who are considering taking a course, glad that you are really with us today. Irvine represented by Nandiniji. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And now with that, let me introduce I gave a little background and he got to say where he's zooming in from, but Mrityunjay Trivediji Acharya, Mrityunjay Trivediji is an amazing Acharya, right? Guru, scholar, activist. He hails from Uttar Pradesh, India. He holds a Master of Theology degree in Dharma Shastra from Sampurnanand Sanskrit University in Varanasi. He's been studying Sanskrit since he was young. He's dedicated his youth to learning the Vedas, especially the Yajurveda and astrology, philosophy, and Karmakand. He's proficient in so many different scriptures, and currently as a priest in the Antelope Valley, as he mentioned, he's conducted so many different pujas and rituals. He can explain them. He's one of these wonderful acharyas, these uh, uh, priests who can actually explain what each shloka means, why we're doing it, and then tie it into context. It's Acharyaji's passion for teaching that has really brought him here to us at Hindu University of America. I could keep on going. He's got so much in his resume, in his background, and he continues to be active in so many different ways. But it is our pleasure to have Acharyaji Mrityunjay Trivediji teaching a course at HUA, participating in these webinars, and engaging with all of us here today. Thank you so much. And with that, let me hand it to Mrityunjayji. I think you'll start us off with a little mantra or a little something to get us started. Thank you.
So, namaste all. Good afternoon. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining in today, spending your precious time with us with Hindu University of America. Before I begin, I would like to thank you, our amazing host, Sri Ankur Patelji, who is behind not only this, every single webinar, course, inquiry, or all kind of Q&A related to our Hindu University of America. Thank you so much, Ankurji, for your passion and dedication towards the university and the course. As we go through this webinar, we'll be talking about Sri Lalita Sahasranam, I encourage all of you to be present, to be fully present in the webinar on the topic because it has some layers in the depth. During the webinar, if you get any questions, please write them down. I will be very happy answering them at the end. Today, I'm not going to focus so much in the presentation. We'll, I have a small presentation. We will start with that. And then I would like to have all of your questions in the meantime, because to remove all kind of, if there is any doubts or anything you want to ask me. So before we begin, let me start or invoke Bhagwan Mahadev as my Ishtadevata and Bhagavati Lalitamba Mahatripura Sundari in this webinar and the class. Om Ganga Tarangaramaniya Jatakalaapam Gauri Nirantara Vibhushitavama Bhagam Narayana Priyamanangamadapaharam Varanasi Purapatim Bhaja Vishwanatham Sindurarunavigraham Trinayanam Madikyamolispurat Taranayakashekharam Smitamukhim Apinavakshoruham Padibhyamalipurnaraत्नचषकम् रक्तोत्पलं बिभ्रतीं सौम्यां रत्नघटस्थरक्तचरणां ध्यायेत् परामम्बिकां ध्यायेत् परामम्बिकाम्. The first slok which I recited says Ganga Taranga Ramaniya Jatakalapam. It is explaining Lord Vishwanath as the Ganga is coming out of his jata. Ganga Taranga Ramaniya Jatakalapam Gauri Nirantara Vibhushita Vamabhagam. Ma Gauri, Ma Parvati, who always stays on his left side, is Vamangam. Narayana Priya, who is favorite, who is very beloved of Lord Narayana. Mahavishnu's favorite is Lord Shiva. Narayana Priya. Ananga Madapaharam, who is Anang, who is remover, who removed the pride of Kamadev. Ananga Mada, unke mad ka haran karne wale. Ananga Madapaharam. Narayana Priyamananga Madapaharam. That Varanasi Purapatim Bhaja Vishwanatham. That Vishwanath, that Mahadev, we all bow down, we all invoke him into the class, into this webinar. Second shlok, as the very famous shlok, the devotee of Bhagavati, devotee of Sri Mata, all of you know, Sindura Runa Vigraham Trinayanam, Ma Bhagavati Lalitamba looks at the first sight. Every dhyan shlok addresses at the deity, at the Bhagwan. At the very first sight, how the entire vigraha of Paramba looks. So it says Sindura Aruna. Sindura Aruna, meaning as the vermilion color, as the rising sun, or as the little uh, light orange color, the entire vigraha of Devi looks. Sindura Aruna Vigraham Trinayanam. Ma Bhagavati has three eyes, sun, moon, and fire. Sindura Vigraham Trinayanam. Madikya Maulispurad, on the crown of the Devi has saddened with the rubies, with the precious gems on her crown, and the crescent moon also, Ardhachandra. Tara Nayak Shekharam. Smithmukhi, who has a very gentle smile. Smoothmukhi. Apina Vakshoruham, whose breast is big, has good Vachhastal, shows that she is full of compassion. She is ready to give the love to her devotee. Padibhya Malipurnaratna Chashakam, and also she holds the pot, the vessels full of gems and jewels. Padibhya Malipurna Ratna Chashakam Raktot Palam Vibhrati, and the chashak and those vessels full of those lotus petals, they are surrounded by bees. Padibhya Malipurnachasakam Raktotpalam Bibhratim Saumyam, that gentle, that graceful, that compassionate Ma. Saumyam Ratnaghatastha Rakta Charanam, who has put her feet on a gem full of vessel, full of bowl. Ratnaghatastha Rakta Charanam, whose feet also looks a little red. Saumyam Ratna Ghatastarakt Charanam Dhyayet Paramambikam. I visualize and invoke that mother, that Lalita Mahatripura Sundari into the webinar. Ankurji, please allow me to share my screen.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Is my screen visible, Ankurji?
Yeah, but I think you're sharing your desktop and not the presentation.
Okay, let me try one more time.
Yeah. One part I didn't mention in your introduction is you're a beautiful singer also. I know you also do that as well, so that was very nice. And to our audience, if you have questions, put them in the Q&A box as we get to it. And if you haven't yet, put in the chat where you're zooming in from, and we'll give you a shout out later. There you go. Yes, we can see.
Okay. Yes, so please write down your questions. We'll definitely take all of those questions at the end. So as the topic, we are going to talk about Sri Lalita Sahasranam, essence and meaning. So let us understand the title correctly, which says Lalita Sahastra Nam and Stotram. It has four parts. So first is Lalita. What is Lalita? The name of mother. Among many famous name, this is one of the name which grabs all the quality. Lalita meaning who's elegant, who's beautiful, who's compassionate, who is just nothing but a mother. Kuputro jayeta kvachidapi kumata na bhavati. Lalita meaning who's beautiful, who's graceful, full of compassion. That is the meaning of word Lalita. That is why in our Sahitya, in our literature, we say Lalit Kala. The Kala, the skills which we learn, we also call them Lalit, meaning graceful. And who's playful also, that is also called Lalit. So Lalita, Lalit is pulling. When we say Lalita is the feminine. So for Ma is Lalita. Word Sahasra. Word Sahasra generally means 1000. For example, Shata meaning 100, Sahasra meaning 1000. But in this context, Sahasra not only means in our Sanskrit 1000, Sahasra word is also used to show the meaning as limitless, as uncountable, as we cannot, when we cannot count something, we say Sahasra. For example, we went somewhere at the beach or at some big gathering. What do we say? There was thousands of people. Why do we say thousands? Because we cannot count them at that time. So it is not said to only that Lalita Mahatripura Sundari has 1000 names. She has many more names than that. That is also the meaning of word Sahasra. Sahasra meaning limitless. But to give us the context, but to show the devotees some kind of limited things, is here word Sahasra also meaning 1000. And Nama meaning Sangya, Nam meaning noun, Nam meaning our given name. So Lalita, Bhagavati's name, which is playful, elegant, compassion. Sahasra meaning 1000, word Nam meaning name. And the fourth and the last part of our title is Stotram. Stotram word comes from Stuti also. Stotram has the meaning as source. For example, the sun is source of light. So source, that source meaning this particular composition has 1000. This is source of 1000 names of Lalita Mahatripur Sundari, or the feminine aspect of divine. So Lalita, Sahasra, Nam, and Stotram. Yeah. Swami Chinmayanand, what he has said about Lalita Sahasranam, very famous sage, current time. Lalita Sahasranam is to be treated as a divine hymn, embodying pure spirituality. It is not only a means of worship the Divine Mother, but it is also a document of great philosophic and cosmic significance. So let us understand a little bit about Lalita Sahasranam, or the background of Lalita Sahasranam, where it comes from, किस पुराण में इसका वर्णन है, what was the conversation, what was the context where it was given. So this Lalita Sahasranam, uh, this Lalita Sahasranam or Vishnu Sahasranam are the, in my observation, are the most recited prayers in across the India, even the world. Lalita Sahasranam and Vishnu Sahasranam. Everyone knows this powerful chanting. So this Lalita Sahasranam we find in Brahmanda Puran. We have 18 different Puranas. The Brahmanda Puran is one of them, which talks about this layer of the universe, cosmos. In the second half of, which is in Sanskrit we call Uttarardha, it comes in second half of the Brahmanda Puran. The story goes where a very famous sage, Rishi Agastya, and his wife is observing a worship of Hayagriva. Who's Hayagriva? Hayagriva is another form or incarnation of Lord Mahavishnu. Word Haya meaning a horse, a Griva meaning who has a Griva, who has a head of a horse. That god is Mahavishnu. So sage Agastya and his wife Lopamudra wanted to understand, wanted to be initiated in Sri Vidya. They did not find anyone that time, so they prayed their favorite god Mahavishnu as Hayagriva form and asked him that we want to get initiated, we want to know more about of Devi, more about of the feminine aspect of Bhagwan, the feminine aspect. So Lord Hayagriva was so pleased with them, with their worship and puja, and took another form himself as a sage. Hayagriva appeared before them, and that is when this conversation between Agastya and sage Hayagriva starts. And Hayagriva, by explaining Devi, by explaining the details of the Sri Vidya, because Sri Vidya is what it has been worshipped and practiced by even the sun, moon, Vishnu, Ganapati, Manu Vidya, Chandra Vidya, Chandra Mandala Madhyaga. All it has a very great lineage of the worshippers. So then that sage Agastya, sage Hayagriva explains, or introduces all this 1000 different name of Bhagavati to Rishi Agastya, and that is when we find this powerful chanting of Lalita Sahasranam is in Brahmanda Puran. In these 1000 names, we will see in the Sahasranama Stotram, the every and the most amazing thing of this Lalita Sahasranam is that not even a single name is repeated. Every single name is fresh. Every single name is new, or which has qualities and different characteristics of Devi. First, it talks about from the head to toe of beauty of Devi. Then slowly it goes how Devi is fighting the battle. Even the story comes in Devi Mahatmyam, and then slowly it goes explains Devi in the subtler way. What is the Pratham Kutam? What is the second Kutam? What is the third Kutam? And so on and so forth. It goes. And this Lalita Sahasranam hymns is often recited during the worship, invocation, or the to get the grace from the Devi or the blessings from the Devi. It is also how it is, we will see that how it is connected to Sri Vidya or Sri Yantra, because many of us know or must have seen the Sri Yantra. Even some of us has it at our home. So we'll see how this Sri Yantra is connected to Lalita Sahasranamam. Or before that, we understand what is the yantra, or what is the mantra, or what is the puja, because that is where we observe all the chanting, worship, yantra puja, dhoop deep naivedya, shodasopachar, panchopachar, ekatantropachar, or the method, all different method of the puja. So the meaning, or the how this Lalita Sahasranam is connected to Sri Yantra, we let us see that. So what is the yantra? Yantra is nothing but a tool, or an instrument. Different, we don't only have only Sri yantra, we have many different yantra. Every god has their particular yantra, particular mantra, particular way of worship, particular way of offering. So the yantra in this context, the C chakra, is called yantra raj, the greatest yantra of all. It is a sacred diagram composed of 9 interlocking triangles. With it has the 9 layers surrounded by central point, which we call the bindu, where the Lalitamba sits in the main center. Through meditation, through visualization, through worship, the C chakra is considered to nothing but embody the divine power of Devi. One question comes here, that why do we need yantra, or what is the significance of the yantra in our Hindu tradition? We have many different yantra. So, for example, to express the energy in a larger and effective way, we need a tool. For example, I'm in my space, you, all of you in different space, everyone is sitting in their house, but the help of this tool, but the help of the internet, but the help of this instrument, we are all together, we can talk and see and discuss or grow together. So the same way, for example, another example, to express the sound in a higher or effective way, what do we do? We have instrument, we have harmonium, we have sitar, we have dholak, we have tabla, we have so many different sound instrument. So those instruments are also yantra. Why? They are nothing but they are creating that sound, that para, pashyanti, madhyama and vaikhari, that sound in a larger way. So, to observe Devi's energy, to observe that cosmic energy, to get the blessings in a larger and powerful way, we need the yantra. The yantra is something which will channel through your chanting, through your worship, visualization, intention, a power towards us. That is what the yantra is. What is the mantra? So, mantra says, Mananat trayate yasya saha mantra. Meaning, by recitation of again and again and again and again of something, trayate. What is trayate? It will remove the the fear of this samsar, the fear of different things, in fear of attachment, bound, relations, job, or any kind of trouble. That is what the mantra mean. Mananat trayate. So all Devata, all Bhagwan, they have their Sukta in Shukla Yajurveda, Rig Veda, or all different Vedas. But here the Sri Vidya mantra in this is in the Lalita Mahatripura Sundari or Lalita Sahasranam context. The main mantra is Sri Vidya Maha Mantra, which has 16 syllable of full mantra, which starts by their parampara, what the initiation, what the lineage you go into. It goes from the Trayakshari to Sadakshari to Navakshari, then Panchadashakshari, then Shodashi. Meaning, slowly the Guru sees the capacity in you, devotion in you, and he gives you the mantra. Sri Vidya mantra in this context is the very powerful mantra that is used to invoke the grace of Devi in the yantra or in within you in Sri Chakra worship. Recitation of this Sri mantra or Sri Vidya Maha mantra, believed to be, it will pure any mantra, not only Sri Vidya mantra, any mantra, to purify our mind, awakens our spiritual growth. Just nothing, just removes the curtains, removes those small lining what we have forgot कि भाई हम क्या हैं. We are true self, Shuddha, Buddha or Mukta. So slowly the help of the mantra, our fear of everything goes away. That is what the mantra is. What is the puja, or in this context yantra, mantra and tantra? The puja is also called tantra. Tantra meaning where we need something, where the puja cannot be done without certain offering, without certain natural supplies, dhoop, deep, naivedya, ritualistic puja. There are method where to put the deepam, where to put the bell, what kind of water should be, where the shank should be located, where how we sit down, where we face, where we don't face, and how we start the puja, what method of puja we follow. All that comes in the tantra or puja. The Sri Chakra puja in this context, in Lalita Mahatripura Sundari, in Lalita Sahasranama context, is Sri Chakra context. It is a ritualistic puja where we offer, or it involves offering of various items. For example, patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam, panchamrat, Sri Chakra yantra, including flower, incense, holy water, the puja, typically performed those who have undergone to the initiation into Sri Vidya. If not, that general puja also can be done by anyone. It is not just who has taken the initiation. The beginner who knows the Lalita Sahasranamam, who wants to start, they also can do or follow the same method of puja or tantra. Here we see this yantra. This is the yantra which you must have seen in the temples, or you may have it in your home, or you may think that what is the Sri Chakra is, or how this Lalita Sahasranam is connected to the Sri Yantra Sadhana, connected to the Sri Vidya Parampara. So the Sri Chakra here which we see, that is the main chakra we were talking about in the previous slide, the Sri Chakra or Maha Chakra. It has 9 layers. How it is connected to Lalita Sahasranamam, as you closely see, we have 182 verses in Lalita Sahasranamam, and exactly 182 Devata comes in this Sri Chakra. Comes meaning we invoke them in different part of the Sri Chakra as we go. So I'll quickly give you the insight of this yantra. This is called Sri Chakra, Meru Chakra. Sometime you will see the formation from top to bottom, or the flat, or the drawn one, and all different types of the Sri Chakra. So the very first chakra is called Trailokya Mohan Chakra, which has this four outer doors, with this surrounded by three circles called Trailokya Mohan Chakra. This layer represents the attraction. क्या करती है? त्रैलोक का मोहन करने वाली, आपका अट्रैक्शन बढ़ाने वाली, असाधक अट्रैक्शन ऑफ द थ्री वर्ड्स दैहिक, दैविक एंड भौतिक, physical, astral, and celestial. It contains of a square, as we see, with 4 gates, and it's symbolic of protection and the outermost barrier of the yantra, the very first one, this one. It's called Trailokya Mohan Chakra. After that, we have Sarva Asha Purak Chakra. What is the Asa? Fulfiller of desires. These we have 16 petaled lotus, as you see, Kama Karshani, Buddhya Karshani, Ahankara Karshani, Sabda Karshani, Sparsha Karshani, all different yoginis, Devi sits in this 18 petal. Then after that, when we go, we have Sarva Sanchobhana Chakra, where we see it. What is Sarva Sanchobhana is agitator of all. Here, as we see these 8 petals, this is called Sarva Sanchobhana Chakra, the third one. Then we go into, after here, we have this layer or this formation of triangle which has the 14 triangles, which is called Sarva Saubhagyadayaka Chakra, the fourth one. What is the Saubhagya? All kind of different prosperity, or grantor or giver of the prosperity is Sarva Saubhagyadayaka Chakra, Sarva Saubhagyadayaka Chakra, which has this 14 angles. Then after that, the fifth one is called Sarva Artha Sadhaka Chakra. This one here, which has the 10 triangles. If you count from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. So this is called Sarva Artha, accomplisher of all purpose. Arth kya hai? Aapka purpose kya hai? What you want to achieve quickly. If grace of this chakra happens, then all kind of accomplishment, slowly aapke jo desire hai, they get fulfilled by Devi's kripa, Devi's grace. Sixth one, it is called Sarva Rakshakar Chakra. Again, the 10 angles, Sarva Rakshakar Chakra. After having all this grace, all this kripa, we need protection. So when we get entered to the sixth level, the sixth layer of the Sri Chakra, or the grace of the sixth layer, it gives us the protection, all kind of disease and everything. Then we have the seventh one, Sarva Rog Har Chakra. If a devotee, if so much into the worship, puja, wants that ultimate bliss, does not want all previously explained worldly desire or worldly thing, then Rog Har Chakra, that is to remove all kind of disease or the curer of all diseases. A devotee, a practitioner, slowly all the diseases are gone when this grace of this chakra happens to the devotee. Then the eighth one, eighth chakra is called Sarva Siddhi Prada Chakra. All of us are looking after the Siddhi. Siddhi is what? Skills. Anima. There are mainly Ashtasiddhis, which Bhagavati Ma Sita has given to Lord Anjaneya. Hanumanji Ashtasiddhi Navanidhi ke data Asbar Deen Janaki Mata. Those Ashtasiddhi goes by Anima, Laghima Chaiva, Mahima, Garima Tatha Praptihi, Prakamya, Ishitvam, Vashistvam, Chashta Siddhya. There are eight main skills, or eight the bigger skills, that after when the eighth chakra get activated, a practitioner gets the grace from the eighth chakra, all siddhis comes towards you in this chanting of the Lalita Sahasranamam or practicing this Sri Yantra Puja. But if you also not get, if you don't get stuck in the Siddhi as well, then you go to main chakra, main bindu, which is called Sarva Anandamaya Chakra. You see, Sarva Anandamaya is the very last, the bliss where the Lalita Mahatripu Sundaris comes and sits. Bindu Tarpana Santushta, as the name comes in the Lalita Sahasranamam. So the very one final Bindu is Anand or Sarva Anand Chakra, which is innermost point of Bindu, which represents the ultimate unity and the bliss. It grants the ultimate bliss to the devotee. As you see closely, to get bliss, how much these layers we have to go through, we have to get the Trailokya Mohana Chakra, get the grace, but not get stuck in there. Then we have to go again to the second chakra, Sarva Asha Purak, but we don't get stuck. We go on, go on, go on, and then ultimately we go with the Sarva Anandamaya Chakra. So this is what the Sri Chakra is. It is connected to Lalita Sahasranamam, main chakra when we do the worship. Even as beginner, when we are worshipping, you can offer the kumkum water, even if you have not undergone to the initiation, by reciting Lalita Sahasranamam, by pronouncing the each name correctly. The pronunciation in Sanskrit is very important, because even missing a one vowel or stressing a vowel more than it is can change the meaning. So have to have a good pronunciation, and we can perform the worship, perform the kumkumarchan or any kind of puja with this Sri Yantra. What is the Lalita Sahasranam? It is considered by the Pandits, by the Vidwan, by the Vidyavan, that the each name of Lalita Sahasranam, it is not just the name of Divine Mother. इट इज लाइक अ वैदिक हिम, जैसे वेद की ऋचाओं का महत्व है, जैसे कि एक एक वेद की मंत्र का महत्व है, द सेम काइंड ऑफ importance all of the practitioner has given to this Lalita Sahasranam Stotram. By performing homam, archana, or just the recitation with the visualization of mother, which says nityam bhakti samanvitaha, not just sometime whenever you feel like doing it. Every day with devotion can bestow the lot of wealth, auspiciousness, victory, health, peace, among other things. That is how sage Vyasa explains each of 1000 names in Lalita Sahasranam as imbued with spiritual significance. When we dive in our class, we go through each of the name, we give enough time, we dive into, for example, the very first name says Sri Mata, Sri Maharagi, Srimat Simhasaneshwari. The very first name says who is not just the Mata, who is not just the mother, who is Sri Mata. In my observation, each any Sahasranam or any Ashtotar or Shatanam you take, the very first name, if you understand correctly, you will understand entire nature of the deity. पूरा भगवान का तत्व जो है पहले ही नाम में रख दिया जाता है. For example, for Lalita Mahatripu Sundari says first name says Sri Mata, who is mother. And what is the nature of a mother? It is full of vatsalya, full of karuna, full of compassion, full of love. Does not matter what you do, she is always there for you. Kuputro jayeta, as I earlier said, Kochidapi kumata na bhavati. Even if you are good kid, she is there. If you are not good kid, still she is still the mother, the ma is there. So the very first name contains a lot of meaning, which is Shri Mata. Word, the very first name with word Sri is Durghat Raj Kaj Sampadani Sakti Shri. That is the explanation of this word Shri. Shri is that wealth which will protect you in the rainy days, which will protect you in the problem. That is what the Shri is. So Ma, who is Sri Mata. Second name says Shri Maharagi, who is not just the Ragi, who is not just the queen, Maharagi, meaning who is the empress of all this Chaudah Bhuvan, all this 14 dimension which goes from the Bhuvaha, Bhu, अतल वितल सुतल तलातल रसातल महातल पाताल भू भुआ स्वाहा महा जनः tapah and satya, all seven dimension up and seven dimensions down, all these 14 loks, there is one empress, one ragi, one goddess, which is Lalita Mahatripu Sundari. That is what the meaning of Sri Maharagi, not just the Ragi, not just the queen. She is the empress of this all Trilokya, all these 14 loka. One meaning. Second meaning of Sri Maharagi is who is the Ragi, who is the Devi, who is the main deity of Mahayantra. What is Mahayantra? As I showed you earlier, Sri Chakraraj Simhasaneshwari, who sits in the middle, in the bindu of Sri Chakraraj, is Sri Maharagi. Srimat Simhasaneshwari, whose asan is what? This is the asan, Sri Chakra asan is Sri Mata, Sri Maharagni. Where she sits, what is her asan? Srimat Simhasan. The asan is not just the normal ordinary asan or a cushion or a sofa or a chair. Srimat Simhasaneshwari. The asan is adorned with the Sri, all kind of wealth, all kind of gems, power, skill, Chatusashti Yogini, Chatusashti Kala, 64 skills, all they are there, and she comes and sits in the Sri Yantra. That is what her asan, that is what her throne is. Chidag, and how she comes into this picture, how she was born. A devotee may think कि भाई माँ आई कहाँ से? What was the need? क्या आवश्यकता थी? So it says Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta. Devi was born from Chid Agni. Now we may think what kind of Agni we are talking about. Agni is Agni. What is Chid Agni? Are Agni, there are many kinds of Agni, 5 kinds of Agni, 9 kinds of Agni, Jathara Agni, Dava Agni, Anala Agni, Chid Agni. What is Chid Agni meaning? Word Chid meaning the pure consciousness. All the Devata, when they got troubled, the story in this Lalita Sahasranam comes, they got troubled by Bhandasur, they got uh, Bhandasur took over the heaven, took over the Indra, took over all kind of Varun, Kuber, Vasu, Ashtavasu. Everyone was troubled by them. Then all Devata got together and they could not defeat this Bhandasur. So all of them got together and they visualized, they put their power at one face. Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta. Kund, a fire pit of Chidagni, the fire pit of pure consciousness. What does it symbolize? What the meaning behind this Chidagni Kunda? Sambhuta, the Devi, then all Devata got together, thought about Devi, put their power in one place, and that is why how the Devi was born. That is the one meaning. Another meaning of Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta is when we as devotee visualize that divine mother, visualize that Lalita Mahasupur Sundari, not in just name, just reciting like everyday thing. No. When we do it with devotion, every day with devotion and visualization. But where visualize? Chid, in our pure consciousness and the meditative state. When we visualize Devi and we offer our chidagni, offer our agni, all kind of vasanas out of our mind, that is when the divine mother gets born, gets appeared in our mind or our wisdom or our buddhi or our intellect. So that is where Devi gets born. Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta. If we want to create Devi in our mind, in our brain, in our daily life, what do we need to do? We drop down our all vasanas, slowly get to the meditative state, visualize Devi, and that is when the Devi will be born. Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta. Bhuta meaning that is how she was born. She appeared. Then what was the reason? Deva Karya Samudyata. She did not need to do anything to help the Devata to remove their fear, to give them back their positions which they have lost with the Bhandasur. So she came, and what she did, she finished all the demon. She gave back the position all Devata. So she was born for what? देव कार्य समुद्यता, देवताओं के कार्य को बनाने के लिए माँ ने जन्म लिया. देव कार्य समुद्यता. So this is how we have many different beautiful names which explains Devi's characteristics or power or grace, and how beautifully Devi saves the devotee and graces the devotee. They describe the qualities and characteristics of Devi, including her power, wisdom, beauty, and compassion. What is the importance? I Nothing much left to say. The what is the importance of the reciting the Lalita Sahasranamam during Sri Chakra Sadhana worship or without during Sri Chakra Sadhana worship? Both awakens spiritual consciousness, as she is related to our consciousness. She is not just a devotee, because when we go further, we see that the Pratham Kut, Madhya Kut, or third Kut, Tratiya Kut, that is nothing but the Shabda Swarup of Devi. I'm giving you this meaning because it says Pratham Kut, Tritiya Kut, Madhya Kut, the Dvitiya Kut. It is nothing but Devi from head to Griva, from Griva to Veshti, from Veshti to feet. That is what the word from the Shabda Swarup of Devi. Reciting the name of Devi, Ma Bhagavati, during Sri Chakra worship or without, that is believed to stimulate the subtle psychic centers. Because what is the meaning? Why do we do this Sahasranam, Satnam, or Ashtottar Shatanam, or any? Why do we recite Bhagwan's different name? A question should be nothing. What happens is, what kind of what the meaning of the name, if you say it again and again and again, slowly that kind of result comes to in our life. That is why in olden days, even now, when you name your kids, when you name your son or daughter, you are very careful choosing the name, because that name has to have a good meaning. So in this context, the Devi has done a lot of gracious thing. So when we say the name, and say the name meaning you mean to say, it's not just you reciting, you say and you know the meaning. That is why this class is it is based on not just the pronunciation and meaning, full package. Full package. You know how to say it, and you know what you are saying, है ना, मीनिंग के साथ, मतलब अर्थ के साथ. Then awakens the spiritual consciousness, and आपको धीरे धीरे slowly it gets all those characteristics of Devi. Slowly a devotee observes, invokes the blessing of the goddess. Reciting the name of Ma, considered to invoke the grace. Slowly Devi gets present, giving listens to our prayers get answers, and the spiritual growth purifies our mind and soul. Because she is considered the consciousness, slowly by saying her name, doing her worship, purifies. The power of Lalita Sahasranam is to believed to purify the mind and our body, removing negative thoughts, emotion, or tendencies. So these are the different benefits of the chanting, because it is to be said in our Shastra that prayojanam anudyasya mandopina pravartate. Unless someone knows that there is even a person with less IQ does not get initiated in any kind of work or job unless he knows that there will be some result, there will be some benefit. So we should talk about the what are the benefits. So we saw these are the different, those are the different benefits by reciting Lalita Sahasranam or chanting it. The Lalita Sahasranamam is a powerful hymn, and very widely observed, has been revered by practitioners or Sri Vidya from the centuries, even more. Even the Chandrama, Surya, Kubir, Varuna, Ganapati, all they have, born into they come into the Sri Vidya tradition. Recitation of Devi's name can lead to a greater personal growth, prosperity, protection, and whether reciting the hymns during Sri Chakra Puja or just normal personal spiritual practice, the power of Lalita Sahasranam is undeniable. You can, if you don't believe it, you should try it, you do it, and slowly we see how the grace of the Devi comes into our life. So this is where, Ankurji, I may stop, and I would love to welcome questions if anyone has any doubts or question or wants to ask anything.
Yeah, no, let me just put in the chat. Here's the details of the course. The link, it's going to be on Sundays, just about this time. It's going to start on January 12th. Yes, let's take your questions. Balaji, yes, glad to have you with us today. It is a very significant um, Sahasranamam, and thank you for joining. What is a timeline of the course? Are you offering it in spring 2025 also? So this is Lalita Sahasranama part one. So this is going to be a two-part where you're going to dig into the course. So this into the and you can explain the timeline. This one is starting January 12th on Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern. So that's a question from Megan. And the other part is, do we need to know Sanskrit? So if you want to take those two questions from Megan.
Yeah, so because this contains a very very deep meanings, as you saw, just explaining three names or four names of Devi took me 15 minutes. So each name has a very much of significance. The some of the name connected to the Bhagavati Ma Lalita Mahatripura as Devi, meaning as a goddess. Some of the name connect Devi, explain Devi as Devi who has taken incarnation. Another, some of the group of the name will describe Devi as the Devi Parabrahman, as that ultimate reality. So there are many different types of the name which explains Devi. So that so that is why we needed to divide this course into two parts, because one part was not enough. So we have 182 shlokas. Part one, I'll be teaching from slok number one, some of the dhyana shlokas, and from there to slok number 90, and then part two will have from the 90 to 182. To join the class, you definitely need little bit of understanding of Sanskrit. But if you can read Sanskrit in Devanagari, it is fine. I also allow student and participants to recite in our own language. For example, if you speak Telugu, or if you are fluent reading your regional language, that is also recommended. It is fine. So you can definitely join if you have even less knowledge of Devanagari Sanskrit.
Great, thank you for that. Um, so this is an elective course, I think, in our certificate program in Hindu Studies, Balavanchi. I don't think it's a core course, but there may be little shifts in that. We'll talk to you later. Balavanchi, glad to have you join us from the DMV area. Um, what other questions? There's a timeline, Sanskrit. Um, and how do you get into the pronunciation? An anonymous attendee is asking. So you teach the whole Sahasranam, the Stotram, through the two courses, pronunciation, the meaning, um, and how do you do that pronunciation part of it?
So generally, the basic prerequisite of my class is to you to of you of a person to have a little bit knowledge of Sanskrit, because that will help you. For example, it is not a grammar class which I can dive or take you into so much into the grammar, but generally what I do, I check the pronunciation in the very first or second class. I try to encourage everyone to say one slok, and I correct them. I give them right pronunciation as we go through. Like for example, first 10 slok, maybe even in 5 slok, all kind of vowels or sound or symbol or word comes later comes. So I explain them even if they know or if they don't know. So they have to know. For example, we have three different kind of sha, sa, sha, and sha pronunciation, la, and how we say anuswar, and all that in first second class. I just try to take everyone into the same pitch, and then we go from there. By for example, then the class is designed a very nicer way, where I every after every second class I take the assignment as you're recording. So you will be you have to record, for example, like 10 slok or 20 10 or 12 slok, and send it to me through LMS, learning management system. And then I hear them, what you recorded and send. And then I find out that what the usually mistake you are making in your pronunciation. Then I come back to class and address those particular mistakes and correct them from there.
That's amazing, Acharya. Going through all the recordings, giving individual feedback, amazing. And that's why you take it as a course, right? So that you can get that attention and feedback. So it can be taken as a standalone course, right? There's no other prerequisites, but like as you mentioned, knowing Sanskrit, at least the Devanagari script, the phonetics will be helpful. But it can be taken as a standalone course, Arunji. So please do consider that. Omogaji is asking if there are lots of stotras. I think this is kind of like a general question. A lot of people don't understand the library that exists. So if you want to, are there a lot of stotras? Are there a lot of different hymns that sing praise to a particular deity? And how is this in context of all of that?
Okay, so we have a countless stotra, countless hymns. For example, if you go to Vedic hymns, we have definitely many sukta. Sukta is nothing but a group of mantra, a Vedic hymn. Generally, Vedic hymn, the meter is little different. Vedic swaras in the Ved we have only three swar: Udat, Anudat, and Swarit. And A. On that we recite Vedic hymns. In the Veda we will find hymn dedicated to Indra, dedicated to Vishnu, dedicated to Devi. For example, for Vishnu we have Sahasra Shirkha Purukha Sahastraksha Sahasrapat, like that, which explains how Vishnu is. There are hymns to the Devi. Jata Vedase Sunavamaso Mamarati Yato Nidahati Vedaha Sanah Parshadati Durgani Vishwa Naveva Sindhum Durita Tyagnihi. So in the Vedas also we have different or various hymns dedicated to Devi, Devata, Ganapati. Namo Lam Namaste Ganapataye Twameva Pratyaksham Tattvamasi Twameva Kevalam Kartasi Twameva. Then we have hymns. Now I'm just talking about Vedic hymns. Then we have Vedic hymns for Surya. Then we have Vedic hymns for Varuna, Indra, Jal, Vayu, Kuber. All that we have Vedic hymns, which is like set of sukta. In the Vedic hymns or stotra, we don't call them stotra, we call them sukta, because they are set of few sloks, some 10, 20, and so and so on. But when we come down to stotra, most of generally stotra comes from the Puran or Mahabharat. For example, Gita comes from Mahabharat. Then Bhagavat Puran. We have many like Gopi. We have Vishnu Sahasranam, right? That comes from Mahabharat. We have this Lalita Sahasranam, which comes from Puran, Brahmand Puran. So we have 18 Puran, and then we have 18 Upapuranas, meaning further more 18. Then we have more 18. So generally, this stotra, they comes from Puran, or some of them are written by own. For example, there are stotra by Sankaracharya, Soundarayali, and many more. Right. So generally, this stotra, and I would say to finalize this, I would say all kind of God. We have 33 different kind of Bhagwan. Please make sure you don't say 33 crore. No, 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 not 33 crore. No, 33 different types of the Bhagwan we have. So in each Bhagwan, in their way, for example, they have their own Puran, Ganapati Puran. Ling Puran talks about Vishnu Puran. We have Brahma Puran talks about Brahma. We had Devi Puran. We have Devi Bhagavatam, which generally will be just talk about Devi. There are many stutis. We have Brahmanda. We have Markandeya Puran, where this all Devi Mahatmya stotra. We have countless stotra. Generally, I would say each devata has their many ashtotter, meaning where the 100 names is stotra, few other 1,000 name is stotra. So all devata, and that is what I like the most. For example, if someone's ishta devata is Ganapati, and they may say, "Oh, I don't find Ganapati Sahasranam." No, no, there is Ganapati Sahasranam as well. If you follow Shiva, you have Shiva Sahasranam. So I would say each Bhagwan, each devata has their many different stotras and chanting.
Yes, thank you for that explanation. Um, we have a couple more questions. Let me launch the poll. Let us know if you're interested in the course. I'll put the details again. Uh, you will have access to the learning management system. So week by week, you'll get the specific Zoom link. The recording to the course will be accessible. You'll get a recording to this webinar too if you want to revisit this. And Acharyaji, you provide the PDF with the translation and the different versions, and it's all accessible through the learning management system.
Yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit more about how a typical class looks and how you go through it kind of week by week?
Yeah, so N Patel asking. So we have this class generally, hour and a half class. Uh, we every class we try to not in the beginning class, first or second. From third class we try to catch up at least 10 to 12 shloks. First, you everyone, for example, every single one will have opportunity to repeat after me. And for example, now we are going to learn 12 shloks, so I will divide by people like three sloka each, or two. Not everyone will get the chance in every single class, but I will divide like who did it previous class, who did it this class, like that. So everyone will repeat after me. And when I explain, he will engage with me. He can ask me cross question, he can ask me anything, and other participants can ask. So generally the hour and 10 minutes or hour 15 minutes is dedicated to pronunciation and meaning. Then rest 15 or to 20 minutes I welcome any kind of question, generally related to course, Lalita Sahasranam, Sri Vidya, Sri Chakra, or anything. But if you have any other question with the pronunciation, with something else, something you do at your own pace, something you do the puja at your house, and you want to ask how to do it, so I welcome those questions in the last 15 minute. Every class, after every second class, you will be required to send me the assignment as your voice recording, but you will not be taught by my voice recording. I will teach you in person, like 101 in the class, like this.
Wonderful, wonderful. So it is going to be an online course. You can zoom in from anywhere. Hopefully the time zone works for you. Akshita ji, thank you for asking that.
Just one
Uh,
more thing I wanted to add. Every single class gets recorded, and it gets saved in your LMS, learning management system. If you may miss any class, you can go back and watch the entire class recording.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. Akshita ji, yes, I think Acharya ji mentioned there is going to be Sri Vidya as well. I don't know if it's a full initiation into Sri Vidya, but go ahead.
Right now, initiation is online. In paramparagat we don't do any online initiation. For initiation you have to be in person. At least learn first, I would say. Understand first. Don't worry, many devotees, they right away try to get initiation. We are very curious about initiation, but I would highly recommend you first do the Lalita Sahasranamam. First try to pronounce your make your pronunciation right. First try to understand the meaning behind it, slowly observe it, and then you come for the initiation, and that takes a lot of time. So online we don't do any initiation, but an initiation is something very different. A guru has to know shishya very right. It says namoham dasyati. You should not give because of you like someone. You have to know the devotee, you have to know the person, you have to know their dincharya, how they are doing, and that is when only initiation can happen.
Very nice. Well said. Balvanji, thank you for joining and being here with us today. Mrityunjay ji, so when you talk about initiation, and in person. It makes me feel like we need to do some in-person retreats. You've now been offering courses at HUA. You're building a student base, right? People are particular, and that's how we, our tradition is. Gurus and shika learn, develop, grow together. You choose, and that's what HUA has been able to do. Create this platform, bring wonderful teachers like yourself onto it, and then make the connections between students and teachers, and then see where it leads. So all these ideas are wonderful, and I'm glad that we are gotten here so far, and we have a lot more to do. Yes, Christy. Yes, I agree, Christy G. Obviously, a fantastic teacher. Wow, thank you very much. Um, so we're just crossed the hour. So again, Binduji, the course is going to be on Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern, starting on January 12th. So it'll be an hour and a half course. It's $200. So Binduji, hopefully this works for you on Sundays. I'll drop it in the chat one more time, along with the link to register. That's good. Initiation from an anonymous. It's just being inducted, joining a particular sampradaya or lineage uh, in that way, with a serious kind of understanding that you are going to study and learn and dedicate yourself to this. Did I get that right, Acharya?
Yes, it is. It's said in a very general way. In Hindi, they are saying that पानी पिए छान के and guru करे जान के. Drink the water which when it is purified. And when you know the guru first, अपने गुरु को अच्छे से जानिए that what kind of person he is, what kind of his daily routine is, because you don't want to be disappointed later. So, Guru Kare Jan ke, after understanding your entire sampradaya, first get the knowledge, first get that information of everything, then evaluate yourself that what is required, what kind of practices you should have to do. Then you come to initiation, and that is what the initiation is.
Right. Teresa has a good question. What is the final deadline to register? Don't wait until the final deadline. Register sooner than later, hopefully, so that we can make sure that we offer the course. I think none of your courses have gotten canceled, or maybe one of the early ones, but now that you've gotten in the groove,
Yes.
people are enrolling early. That's how you make sure that the course is offered, because
Right.
this is part of the community education division, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of iterative. If we have students who are interested, then we can offer the course again. The deadline will probably be just that week of January 12th, right before that, so that you can get logged in and get your ID and all that information. So please register as soon as possible. But if you want to wait until the deadline, the course starts January 12th. Teresa, thank you for that. Um, will you be able to recite the Sahasrama fluently after the program completion? That's a high bar. I mean, I think that's a matter of how hard you also try, right? How much time and energy and effort and brain power you dedicate towards memorizing and reciting. But Acharya have how do you answer that question?
Yeah, meaning I would say nothing, no, nothing less than what you have already said. Definitely, you will get my guidance, and a little bit of your effort and dedication definitely will lead you to recite it fluently, for sure.
Mm,
Many of the previous participants has joined as a very little, very very संकुचित, बहुत घबरा रहे हैं, they were not very comfortable with reciting, but slowly they join. If they don't miss any class, they join every class, they send their assignment, and that is how they work on. And by end of the course, they get to recite. Not only recite, they get at least the 90% of the meaning.
mm, mm. So, Akilaji, in addition to reciting, you learn the depth of
Yes,
the
definitely. Yeah,
Sotram.
you can, if you can recite it very well, that is very nice. Now, because any recitation, it has two things. When you are doing, when we are performing it, reciting it, the visualization of Bhagwan has to happen in our mind. For example, when we are saying Srimata Sri Maharagi Srimat Simhasaneshwari Chidagnikunda Sambhuta Deva Karya Samudyata, and you are just going and your mind is somewhere, the Devi is not coming into your head in your visualization, then you will not get the entire benefit, or I would say very little benefit. When you say Sri Mata, when you say Sindura, Aruna Vigraham, Trinayanam, Madikya, Mauli, all the Devi has to appear in our brain, our visualization. We have to do the darshan. We have to see Devi, अपने भगवान को देखना है मस्तिष्क में. That is why this course is. to be able to get the meaning, get the characteristic, get to understand Devi even more. We need to, if you recite, very nice, but if you want, you can come into the class and understand the meaning as well.
Yes, yes,
It's
Akilaji, I think this is the
it's,
course for you.
it's
Yes, I would
beautiful.
like to learn the deeper meanings.
Yes.
Arunji, will you be required, is asking, are you required to recite from memory or from the script only? I think it's a classroom, right? It's the spectrum. Some people will be able to memorize and some people will use the script and the transliteration as well. Somebody else is asking, is the transliteration okay? Yeah, if you
Yes.
don't know Devanagari script, you
Yeah.
can use the transliteration. Me
Any
myself,
language.
I don't know the Devanagari script, and I've been trying. You know, you start to piece it together. You think after years of doing this, but it's you have to put in the time and the effort. And if you can't, then the transliteration works for
Yes.
now.
Yeah, for now. I highly encourage. Why? Because if you once understand Devanagari, all the stotra, mantra, Vedic hymns, you have access to everything. Now you have to be very careful whether it is right, what shabd is not written correctly, the sign language, when the dirgh a is there, what kind of signs you have to look for when shau charan is there. So little that. But if you cannot, if you are comfortable, many of the students they join with the English wording
Mhm.
or your regional language, even better if you can read.
Yes. Okay. I think we're nearing the end. We had almost, I think, 80, 90 people at the peak. We still have 65 or so of you with us now. So there's some general questions. I think this is a good way to end. You know, some people miss the beginning. So what is the deeper meaning, right? How does it actually help us uplift our souls, right? I missed the first 20 minutes. Somebody else, Hyro, was asking again if you can give a taste of reciting portions of the hymn, linking to the triangles and their meaning and right the daily practice part of it, right? How does it actually um help you and get into that discipline and that broad kind of what do you get out of it, is where I'll kind of leave it in your hands to give a concluding statement. And thank you everyone for being here. It's always my pleasure to host. Nice on a Sunday afternoon for us, Sunday evening for some people. I know India time zone not so friendly, but glad that we had good attendance and reception today. Appreciate it. And of course, for Acharya ji, my pleasure. And again, I can't appreciate you enough when you started to where you are, and of course, where we're going. It's
Thank you.
amazing. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Let me hand it to you for closing statements and thoughts.
So, not only to answer to all devotees out there, not only Lalita Sahasranam or any Sahasranam, any worship, anything, any practice. Practice makes everything perfect, right? A very famous English saying. So, in the same way, we have to show our nishtha to the Bhagwan. We have to show that we really mean it. We have to show that I really love you, right? In for example, in a relationship, in mother, father, a brother, sister, lover, wife, everywhere we have to show that we mean. So in the same way, how you show it to Bhagwan, there are two ways. First, uh, you in America, it's very busy life, traveling here, there, stress and everything. I would say start with a small step, baby step. If you don't have so much time, just try to recite 10 verses, 5 verses every day. But my focus or my advice would be recite it. The pronunciation has to be correct. Without, if you are missing the pronunciation, then it doesn't mean anything. In Sanskrit or in any language, if you are not, if your pronunciation is not right, then meaning changes entirely. So if you are busy, you can just recite only 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 hymns. If you have like 10 minutes time, 20, generally it takes, if when you are fluent, then it takes 15 to 20 minutes, or not even 20 minutes, definitely 15 minutes. But when you are very beginner level, then it definitely takes 30 minutes at least, when you are trying to join them together, trying to learn them together. So that is why this course is here, to bring everybody together and just learn one time entire Lita Sahasranamam pronunciation. It is somewhere, it is little bit tough also. The one of some of those names are very, very how would I say, like tongue. has to work so much because we are not very used to those sounds are not in Sanskrit. They are only in sorry, they are those sounds are not in English language. We are very fluent in English talking every day. So when we come and we learn those words, we have our tongue and lips has to exercise a little, but they come, but you catch up. So you definitely can recite them every day. Entire Sahasranam would be perfect. Evening time is best. Morning time is best. For Bhagwan's puja, there is no muhurt, no time. Every time, whenever you have time and you think that now I can be focused, now this is the time to भगवान का स्मरण कर सकते हैं, भगवान को याद कर सकते हैं. Sit down, make sure you are pure. Pure meaning you are, the place where you are sitting, because we are invoking the goddess, the Empress Sri Maharagi. So we should be clean, outer and inner body. And then Bhagavati ka, open the Sahasranam, slowly go for 10 slok, 20 slok every day. That is a general way. And when you show that nistha, which I started, your devotion every day, don't worry about results. The result will find a way to get to you. That is what my observation of Lalita Sahasranam or any worship or practice is. When we are doing it every day with devotion, uh, saying from my side, being a Sri Vidya practitioner, being a Sri Vidya Upasak, if I start counting you that you will get this, will be very narrow explanation of results, because there is nothing which cannot be achieved by any kind of practice, any kind of it does not come, and someone will not come and deposit $1,000 in our bank. But by doing this, we will get a clear thought. Chit Upasana nam to chittaikagram. What does a upasana do? It ekagra. It focuses your mind. It gives you the right visualization. It gives you, it gives you the clear path, and then we are human. We will achieve everything. So this is what how the grace of Devi happens. It doesn't give anything, or it gives everything. It the very first thing which you will observe, it gives you peace. If it will give you shanti, and in shant vichar you can have any kind of visualization or any kind of result which you ask. Devi Devi is there. So Sri and Vidya. What is Sri? All kind of wealth, all kind of pleasure, all kind of worldly desire comes under the word of Sri. What is Vidya? As our Hindu University slogan says, Sa Vidya ya Vimuktaye. Vidya is that which makes you free from the bondage of the sansar. With that, with Ankurji's permission, I can say the final prayers, Ankurji, or if you want me to add anything more.
Well, no, please. And don't forget to enroll in Acharyaji's course. Amazing. Please do. Thank you.
Yeah, please try. And if you are, please try. It is two-part course. It is very lovely journey to understand the mother. और बहुत आनंद आता है मुझे पढ़ाने में, और आई होप आप सभी को पढ़ने में भी आएगा. बट थैंक यू सो मच फॉर टेकिंग योर प्रेशियस टाइम स्पेंडिंग विद अस. संडे में सभी लोग व्यस्त होते हैं, फिर भी आपने ज्वाइन किया. बहुत हृदय से धन्यवाद. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःख भाग् भवेत्. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः. May all be happy. Sarve santu niramaya. May everyone should be disease, illness free. Sarve bhadrani pasyantu. May we always see good things in everything. Ma kaschid dukh bhaved. No one should be in trouble. No one should get in any kind of problem. That is, with that prayers. Thank you so much once again. Thank you so much, Ankurji. Thank you so much, the entire team of Hindu University of America.